Hello friends, my name is Emile and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic. This time we are taking a look at the 1999 Nissan Skyline R34 JGCC car. More specifically, this is the Autobacs R34 version, which, while it's not my favourite livery for these R34 JGC cars in the game, it does still look pretty cool. This car was requested by a 04567, as were most of the JGCC cars in this game. Now, like with all the other R34 JGC cars, this one has, well, the same stats as them. All-wheel drive, 702 horsepower, 1,180 kilograms of weight, and a bloody decent amount of torque. So, let's go and see how this particular car forms on our course, which is, of course, the Motorsports Land track, where this car is going to have 6 laps to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5 RS that's at a time of a 29.490. I don't quite think the Skyline will reach that just because it's a race car and these things do need high-speed downforce, but, you know, it will be interesting to see. Of course, on paper, this thing can actually do really very, very well indeed. Right, let's see how we do through some of these corners. Ooh, okay. Right. The actual handling is good until you get it high up in the rev range, and it appears like the rear end wants to kick out when you do that. This might be one of those cars where I can't really push it, I'll just have to sort of bumble it around a bit. 32.106 is a pretty good opener for lap times though, which is good. Alright, chuck it around this corner. Yeah, unlike the Evo, you know, the Evo you could really chuck that car into corners and so on. You can't really do that with this car. It does appear like there's more power going to the rear, which would, well, make sense obviously, but yeah. A 30.667 on our second lap. I can't quite push it as much as I want to, but that being said, it still is a mighty fine automobile. Yep, there you go. The rear end wants to come out on it. I want to say it's not what I was expecting, but to be honest with you, on these race cars, you do have to expect a little bit of rear end play, even these all-wheel drive ones. Just because, well, they rely so heavily on downforce, and that's the thing with the Evo. You know, it was lightweight, it had a lot of power, and it was only a race-modified normal car, so, you know, one thing that I'm starting to find in these sort of, by doing this, is, well, the race cars aren't quite as good around a track like this because they need that high-speed downforce. You know, most of the time, race-modified standard cars are not the way to go. You know, they won't be able to compete with the race cars usually, but, you know, when it comes to a course like this, they actually fare better because they don't rely on downforce as much. It's the same with the rally cars, you know, they don't need the downforce, and that's why, you know, your rally cars and some of your, you know, all-wheel drive race modified standard cars are the ones that do better around here. You know, well, the Evo is obviously the sort of common one, but, you know, you've got your Evos at the top, your Legacy, your Impreza. You know, all those vehicles are all-wheel drive, race modified, and, you know, they may not even have the best power figures, but because they don't rely so much on downforce, unlike this Skyline, they do get along a little bit better, which is, yeah, good. That being said, I'm having to feather it a little bit, just because if I chuck it in properly, it just does not grip. That being said, though, it is still a nice car to drive. It certainly is not what I would recommend for driving around here, though. We're going to finish up with a 30.290. That's, you know, I'll take that. That's a pretty good time from this vehicle. A bit quicker than I was expecting, to be honest with you. But yeah, solid car. Drives pretty nicely, in all honesty. But, yeah, unfortunately you can't really chuck it as much as you'd want to. Yeah, the 6th lap was the quickest run, which is a bit strange for us. Usually it's one of the first laps that are the quickest for whatever reason, but yeah. You could probably get it to go a little bit quicker. 30.1 might be your limit though, so yeah. Either way, let's go see where it places on our leaderboard. On to the leaderboard then, and the Autobacs R34 goes into 5th place with a 30.290, not quite being able to break into the under 30 zone, but it does become the quickest race-built car thus far, beating out the Alfa Romeo 155 touring car, so there you go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hot Lap Classic. If you have cars you would like to request for this series, you can do so in the comment section below, and go into the description for a full request list form. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.